Hello and welcome back to the NUFC Opinion Blog for another fan feature interview. Today, I'm joined by Stephen Simm, who is a writer at True Faith, and so I've come to know him quite well with some of the things that we do at True Faith. Stephen, how are you doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. Thanks for having us on.
No problem at all. It's my pleasure. So, firstly, just to sort of lower the tone a little bit, after Saturday night's dreadful display against Brighton, where did Newcastle go from here, in your opinion?
Well, firstly, I can't see us picking up another win, so that means down, unfortunately. um, yeah, I can't see us winning another game from now at the end of the season. Even though we've got to play Sheffield and Fulham, I can't even see us beating them, especially with no strikers on the pitch.
Mm,
It seems to
mm.
be Bruce
Do you,
Willis.
do you think that maybe Colin Wilson returning might make some sort of an impact?
I'd like to hope so, but I think because of confidence and morale is so low right now,
Hmm.
um, and it's going to get even worse because I think we've got 5 of the top 6 to play. Is that
Yeah,
right?
something along those lines. We've definitely got
We're
a
not going
few
to
of
get
them.
any wins against them, are we?
No.
Let's face it. So confidence is just going to get lower and lower. So
Hmm.
no, unfortunately, no.
Steve Bruce obviously hasn't resigned or hasn't been sacked in the aftermath of that Brighton game. After there was a lot of calls for him to do so, do you think he should have gone?
Yeah, without a doubt, definitely. He should have gone a long time ago.
Mm.
A long time ago.
Do you think if he had gone a bit more time ago, things would be different now?
Um, Possibly it depends who would get in to replace him. I think if Graham Jones had took over and he become or was sort of head coach, then I don't know, because it's a tricky one because since he's come in, things changed slightly with the tactics, but results haven't. So, did he have an impact? He did against Everton, I think, but since then, results haven't improved.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if we'd stay up with Graham Jones in charge. It just depends on who we've got in instead. But they'll have enough time. They'll have more time than Rafa did and than Shearer did when we got relegated the last couple of occasions.
Hmm.
Um, so it would depend who we got in. Um, if it was someone like even someone like Mark Hughes, he's got more. I think there's more chance of us staying up with him than with Bruce, um, just because I think he understands tactics,
Hmm.
basically.
It's certainly been leveled at Steve Bruce that he doesn't understand tactics, and you can see why. If Newcastle are to stay up this season, and now of course you've said that you don't think they will the way things are going, how do you think that would happen if they do stay up?
um, if Fulham didn't pick any more points up, basically, we've already proven that we can't beat Brighton,
Hmm.
um, so we can't climb above them. I don't think we will climb above them. Hopefully, Fulham just don't pick more points up than we do.
Mm. So do you think that we are doomed the way things are going? Is that your belief?
I honestly do. I think every Newcastle fan could see this was coming, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Right from when I'd say at least at the start of this season, the luck was eventually going to run out, and it has. And that's all Steve Bruce relies on is luck, and we haven't even got that anymore.
Hmm.
I know it's really really negative, but it's just my opinion is that we aren't going to pick any more points up.
No, no, you're very much entitled to it. I mean, I'm skeptical at the minute.
Mm.
I'm not sure. Half of me, I think the optimist in me wants to believe that something might click, but the realist is very worried in me. I'd say. I think, especially as you mentioned, some of the games we've got left, and if nothing changes, we're not going to be picking up many more points, and it is a bit of a sad time. Moving on to something a bit more positive. What is your earliest memory of supporting Newcastle?
My very very earliest memory is it's slightly clouded. I think my first match was against Middlesbrough at home. Um, I've got a very sort of vivid memory that we were in the top of the Gallagher and me and my dad. Um, and yeah, I think it was against Middlesbrough. My clearest memory was us beating Barcelona, which I've mentioned before on
Yes, on the on
previous
writer's block.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Um, and then my memory after that, or around that time, is when we beat Man United 5-0. So those are my earliest memories. Uh, and just fell in love with Newcastle
Some
from there.
great early memories to have, certainly.
Well, I just caught the back end of the Keegan era,
Yeah.
his first spell in charge. I just caught the sort of last sort of half of the season before he left. So it was a good time to start supporting Newcastle, I guess.
Do you have any players that you've idolised in growing up watching Newcastle?
Well, the obvious one's Shearer, of course, but apart from him, my favourite player, and probably still my favourite player of all time, is Rob Lee.
Great shout.
Consistent, just always, was always 10 out of 10 every match. Loved him.
Is that so? With all that being said, and up to now, you can go from wherever you want. Is there one or maybe two standout memories or matches that you have supporting Newcastle?
I'll try and give a more recent one as opposed to the very early memory. The most recent, which was some time ago, but in the not so distant past, was when we beat Man U 1-0 at Old Trafford.
Yes. Were you there?
I spent a lot of time travelling away to watching Newcastle. I still do, even though I'm situated in Exeter. I still get as many, probably more away games and home games now, to be honest.
Yeah.
And certainly my favourite away game was the 1-0 against Man U.
Johan Kabay goal. Yeah.
Fantastic. It wasn't the most entertaining game, but it didn't matter because we're beaten. It was like something like 30 odd years since we're beaten.
In that lovely Brazil kit as well.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, we played, well, not on that occasion, but sometimes we played like Brazil that season.
No, it wasn't bad. They had some good away wins in 2013-14. I think they beat, was it Crystal Palace 3-0 in that season as well away, and
yeah,
they had some good, and Tottenham away as well.
Yeah, that was a season at the time, not huge.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we've mentioned how Newcastle aren't great at the moment, but there's a lot of sort of talk that that there's this takeover that rumbles on and on and on and on. So, in an ideal world, what would your hopes be for the future at Newcastle United?
Just sustainability. Every Newcastle fan dreams of us playing in the Champions League again. But it would just be nice to have a season in the Premier League where we aren't worried about what's happening below us, i.e. the relegation zone. We could maybe consistently finish at least mid-table and just enjoy some good games along the way, like the Man U away, the 1-0, just games like that where you're going to get beat the odd time. A team like Newcastle aren't going to do a Man City and win every game and get 90 odd points, but it would just be nice to maybe aim a little bit higher, maybe aim for the top half, and who knows, we might have another season like when Pardew was here and we finished 5th.
You'd like to think so.
Just seasons like that, the odd flurry into Europe would be quite nice.
Finally, just to sort of sum things up, Stephen, obviously at the moment there's no supporters in the grounds. We're all banned from grounds essentially because of COVID. When supporters do return, if things are still sort of this way at Newcastle, what do you think it'll be like?
For me personally, it'd be the worst it's ever been supporting Newcastle. I think on and off the pitch, we have been just depressing. It's just depressing to follow Newcastle right now. And if things aren't going well on the pitch, sometimes you like to read stories of sort of positivity in the changing room. The players, they're in it together and they're behind the manager, and the manager's coming out and he's saying positive things. He's saying the right things to get you to keep going to the game and to keep supporting the lads. But that isn't even happening now. I think if fans were in the stadium right now, because of the way Bruce has conducted himself in the press and in the press conferences, I mean, I never ever boo. I've never booed at a football match, and I don't agree with it, but I'd be very, very close to doing it right now. It's gotten to that level, hasn't it? Because, like I say, the football's dreadful, and when that happens, you'd like to think that there's good messages coming from the coach in press conferences, but that isn't even happening. He's antagonising the fans. He's quoting the fans, so that's only going to result in one thing: a very hostile situation.
Just out of interest, if you could spend 5 minutes in a room with Steve Bruce right now, what would you say to him?
That's a brilliant question, isn't it? Why are you sticking around? Well, we know why he's sticking around, but I'd say please for the good of the team that you supposedly support, please just walk away. Do the right thing and just walk away.
I think, yeah, and that's the sort of thing I'd say as well. Certainly, I can't understand why he's sticking around. But I think he's so sort of stuck in the mindset that he can get us out of it, even though he's the man who's put us into this as
Yeah.
well, which to me is just a bit delusional.
Just to throw a little question out for yourself as well, like as Newcastle fans, which Steve Bruce claims to be, as Newcastle fans, if we were in that position, if results weren't going our way, which can happen to any manager, doesn't matter how good you are, you can find yourself in a bad run of form. But it's not even a question really, it's more of a point. As Newcastle fans, we wouldn't go into press conferences or speak to the media, and you're going to get criticism when results aren't going your way, but we wouldn't go into press conferences and start slating the fans and start our fans, fans of the same club as us. You wouldn't be antagonized, and
you could never do that.
You wouldn't be doing what Steve Bruce has done. It's just as a supporter of Newcastle, it's something you don't do. You don't, because some of those people, I imagine, are his friends, who's grown up supporting the club.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying these things about them as well, and I don't know about you, Dan, but I wouldn't be conducting myself in that way. Definitely not.
No, and throwing players under the bus as well, as he has done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not what you'd expect from someone who's supposed to be this seasoned professional, as some of his mates in the media like to think he is, and this nice man, sort of, as he's often portrayed. But I think it's showing that that sort of representation of him isn't as accurate as it was portrayed. Stephen, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
No problem, mate. Thank you.
As I say, we'll have plenty more fan features to come in the future, plenty more videos on the channel as well, so please do keep an eye out for them. Thank you all very much for watching, and how are the lads?